G'day, how you going? This is Ian Harris from Australia here, and we're up to part 2 of our mountain painting. Okay, so we're up to here so far. So let's start getting the foreground in there. See if we've got enough room for a lake, okay? So now the colours for this section. Here's the colours here. We've got black. We got burnt sienna. We've got yellow green, sap green, titanium white, yellow oxide and a mid yellow. And I just used a small knife, my large 2-inch brush and my small flathead brush. Alright, we'll grab our yellow oxide with a bit of retarder inside there, and we want to paint on the foreground. We might use a bit of water as well to give it some flowing. Now we'll start at the bottom. Okay, bring our way to the top. I'm using my 2-inch brush on its edge. On its edge is that way, not that way. And I'm bringing this up easily to where I want to go, and it can just fade into the mountain colours there. We've got to get a bit of height in there because we didn't really leave enough room for our lake. So who knows, we might have a lake or we might not. But anyway, this is just our field area. So we've got that brushed on, and see it's just lightly blended there. Now I'm going to get a bit of white, so I'm just going to get a bit of white, and the very edge of it towards the mountain, which is here, I want to lighter than the foreground, so I'm bringing that across like so. A bit more, because the further away the lighter it is, and then we'll just bring it forward like so. See what I've done? So we've got 2 tones. Okay, now my next brush is this little flat brush that I'm going to use to get the background trees. Now I'm going to use sap green, Australian sap green, which is my dark colour, but I'm also going to have it lightened down for the distance areas, okay? So we'll add some white. If you come down to my palette here, there's me sap green, and I'm lightening it up with white here. Okay, now what we do, you get your paint on the brush. Okay, you got your paint on the brush, stab it down so the edge of your brush is flared out. Okay, now what we want to do is some distant trees. So we're just going to sort of put our distant trees, go in different heights, but this is virtually the shadow of them, okay? Can you see what's happening there? We'll put different bunches everywhere. Now this is the light distant ones. Get some more paint. I want to group pretty much here. The tops, just worry about the tops. For now. You can bring the bottom over like so, because we're going to put another layer in front. Now we'll get another bunch over here somewhere. Maybe just very little. Can you see there what I'm doing? I'm just hiding that line, this straight line here. We could have feathered that up and down through the mountains, but these are just very distant trees. Stab some more paint on your brush. Very distant trees. Now reloading the brush again with just a sap green with no white in it. This is going to be the next group of trees closer towards us. These will be a bit bigger and obviously a bit darker, so we can sort of hover in between those lighter trees at the back. I've dried this first layer of trees, so I'm not going to start mudding up the 2 different colours, okay? So we're just going to come in front of them like that. Now some of these are bigger. And over here, I want some in front of them. They're bigger. So they're becoming bigger. but leaving some of those light ones in the background. Now these ones here are close enough to start putting a light highlight on. So what I'm going to do is that same brush, we'll clean that, and we're going to get the yellow. Now we're going to get the yellow green, which will highlight those darker ones. Okay, so let's just put the, where are we? Let's just put some highlights on one side of them, just to break them up a bit. Now I'll put it on the board there so I can get more of a control over it. Leaving lights in front of the darks. Now I'm going to clean the brush. Well, you can see what I've done there. It's very hard to see for now. Now we're going to grab that yellow and do the same. We're going to stamp that onto the brush. Now that second row of trees we're going to highlight. So highlight this side of it. And then highlight this side of that one. So it's putting this tree in front of that one and some of these bushes there. I'll get that done to all those bottom rows there. Alright, we've done most of our foreground trees and I've just blended some more white into here. Now, as I've done a previous sketch before, I want to work out where to put the main big ones at the front, okay? So you don't want to just start doing them and not knowing where you're going to put them. So work out where you want to put them, okay? So now let's get them on. They're going to start with black. So their first born colour is black. Got our black smashed onto the brush. Just get your paint. It's onto the... and smash it onto there. So it's flaring the ends of that brush out again, okay? Alright, so now, I know I want one about, it's going to come up where, say about here. So we started off as a line, okay? Started off as a line. Now this is pretty much like a conifer. In Australia we have conifers. You can do your evergreens or whatever, okay? Now we started off as a line. Get it up to the height you want to go. Now if anything it becomes a sort of a shape like this, like a teardrop, but in that shape you're going to work from the top or the bottom and sort of punch out your foliage, okay? Come at the bottom a bit because it'll have a bit of a shadow. These edges you don't want them thick and blodgy. If anything, you want to make them real hairy and thin. It gives it more detail. The more detail, it'll look fantastic. Now we've got a bit of sun over here. If anything, you might want to put a bit of a shadow coming out onto the ground if you want, depending, okay? That'll be our shadow. Now that's how the trees are first born. They're black. So let's do another one there, eh? I want to put another one, say next to it here, a bit closer. Go up to the sky a bit. This one's closer. And we'll put another one over here, but try not to overdo it. As they say, less is best. So I might put one about here somewhere, about this high here. We'll put this one up. Feel your brush, find out where your edges are that are real hairy and use that for the edge of your tree. Practice these trees on a bit of paper. I've done some practices before. That's roughly what these trees are going to look like. Okay. If we get them right. You want the bottom reasonably wider than the top, so it's got that teardrop shape about it. Now we can put this one's shadow sort of coming over this way. Okay, there's about, I might just put one coming off the edge of the painting just to hide this bit here. Come up to the blue, because these are going to be highlighted, so you want to, this is coming off the picture, so we won't see the bottom of this one. Whoever took this photo, the cameraman was way back and this didn't quite get in the shot. That's the way I look at it. Now you look at a painting, every landscape, waterscape, it has its own horizon line. So virtually in this painting, our horizon line was there. So if you were to put a person in here, their head's to be no higher than that horizon line. Okay, and then if you want, put a couple of, you don't really need to, I'm just going to do them for an example, little stumbly bushes. Maybe one there, and some there. All right, our next colour is sap green. So I've got to leave one side of these trees dark to create a shadow. So we've done the sap green, we've smashed that onto the brush the same way we've done the black and everything. Okay, so you could probably start at the first one you did, and if they're wet, dry them, but don't kill all the black. I don't know if you can see there, but we don't want to kill all the black. You don't have to put this into the shadow colour. Alright, this one's going to go on this side. Try and go just beyond the black that you've put on there. And we'll do, hang on, we'll do the other one over here, this big one. So we go just beyond the black, get it just beyond the black, leaving some blacks in there. All right, can you see there? Okay, the next colour is yellow green. We're doing the same, loading the brush again, and this one's not so much in the tree this time. I've dried these. Come from the edge, around, just nice and hairy stamps, not big, thick, gluggy ones. See there? Now we'll do the same to the others. Go just beyond the black. Bring some over that side a little bit. These little ones here. Can you see that okay? Now this one we're swapping sides. Alright, now we're grabbing our yellow, loading the brush up exactly the same. I'll start over this side so you get an idea what I meant about pushing those trees back. This has been dried again. Now we don't want to come around too much with this. Just that little bit, see? I'll pull this up to the camera so you can see it. I'll pop him right into the blue a bit. Okay. And this isn't the end of it. There's still one more procedure to go. So we'll get all the yellows on. Just going less than what you did the previous colour over the teardrop. You could probably put a bit in the dark area so it looks like the branches are sticking out. Do this one here. Okay, the last colour is white with a bit of yellow in there. Not too much yellow. And that's going to be our last. We'll start with this tree over here. And that's putting the distant tree behind this forward one. Just stick to the very edge and bring very minimal back inside it. Okay, we'll go again for this one. Just very lightly touch that canvas. You don't want to really put a big blobby cartoony shape on there. Up here. These work well when you've got a nice blue background in them, but I just want to show them on this for now. These are more detailed than the back trees. And we'll put a little bit over here. Okay, we'll just finish it off with a simple rock. The rock begins its life as some stippled paint onto your knife. Work out where you want your rock. Get some of this black. It's got to be black because it's got to have shadow under it, okay? The bottom's got to be shadow. I'm just putting it in front of that grass there just for something different. Alright, we got him shadowed into there like so. Just keep it straight. Give it some sort of that'll do for our rock. Now we've done black. Leave it wet, don't worry about drying it. Just wipe your knife, and the next colour is burnt sienna. So we'll find the top of the rock. And we'll start, we want to leave the black for the bottom shadow. So get the very top edge of the rock. Can you see what I'm doing there? Yeah. Okay, there's our rock, and we've got some lines of black going through it and fairing out to the bottom. Now we'll wipe that. Now the second stage to a simple rock is some yellow oxide. Get some yellow oxide and just lightly, in little bits, that brown, get into that brown, don't kill it though. Not too much white. Okay, I've just touched up that bit behind the rock and everything, so there's our finished painting. Now you could probably put a silhouette of yourself on there, or you and a friend holding hands. I'm going to show you that in part 3. It's very easy and fun to do in a lot of paintings, okay? So, I'll just give you an example. Here's an example of what I did in this painting. I just took a photo of myself and put it in the picture. Okay, I hope you like that simple exercise, putting those trees into that mountain. Share, subscribe and like my videos. Goodbye, good luck and good on ya.